Eminem's Little Mockingbird is no longer little. In fact, she's learned how to sing, and she's singing the tales of her childhood, which seemed pretty normal to her at that time, but she later realized it wasn't all that normal after all, and you're about to find out why. But before we get into that, let's start by finding out more about Hailie Jade.
When I think about my accomplishments, that's probably the thing I'm the most proud of, is being able to raise kids.
It must be hard growing up in the shadow of Mr. Slim Shady, but his little starlet, who's not so little anymore, has achieved quite a lot at the ripe young age of 27. And perhaps we can credit her 2.8 million followers on Instagram to her dad's fame. But we surely can't give her father the credit for her excellent GPA, a whopping 3.9. Yes, folks, Hailie graduated from Michigan State University back in 2018. She majored in psychology. Of course she did. She obviously wanted to understand the human brain better, given how insane her parents' antics have been throughout her life. Just kidding, guys. But whatever her reasons may be, it seems that she did well for herself. Not only did she graduate with a great result, she even managed to build a very successful modeling career for herself, and work with some really great brands, including Puma Women. Yikes. No wonder Eminem's so proud of his daughter. And that's not all she's achieved.
I'm a person too. I think I have more to offer than just my dad. So it becomes like tricky because I get it.
Apparently, Hailie's gotten just a little shady in her life. Back in the dwindling heat of the summer of 2022, Hailie decided to do something so cool and refreshing. Something which we didn't know we needed, until we did. She launched her very own podcast, which is just a little shady, if you know what I mean. That Jade is a cheeky one. But she launched the podcast with her best friend, Brittany Edney, and the two have been friends throughout their childhoods. The interesting bit is, the show is centered around their childhood experiences. And of course the usual, fashion, makeup, dating tips, but also we actually get to witness insider details of the life of Eminem's only biological kid. She has literally been the muse for so many of his songs. Mockingbird, Hailie's song, and has her very own song too. Can you guys guess the song? The title is sure to crack you up. Yes folks, at the mere age of 6, Hailie launched her own R&B hit, My Dad's Gone Crazy. We wonder what that was inspired by. But even despite all of this, we never actually got the chance to witness her narrative in her own words. This little mockingbird can sing for herself, and the platform she's chosen is her podcast.
Had brought up to me that we went to the Pistons game with just me and him and sat on the court, which I did not remember. And he's like, yeah, I felt so bad.
That being said, Hailie's managed to give really interesting details about her life on her podcast, starting with all the factors that made her childhood unusual. And of course that was bound to happen. It's hard being the only real child of the real Slim Shady. But as it turns out, it was really cool too. Hailie Jade had a lot of very surreal experiences growing up. In an episode of her podcast, Hailie opened up about her childhood experiences. And as it turns out, every insane thing she ever experienced seems totally normal to her. Of course it did. She just genuinely believed that all kids had the media following their parents around, or had to deal with a bustling crowd of fans, or travel the world in a tour bus, or have VIP passes to the coolest concerts. And while all this may make her sound a tad bit privileged, let's face it folks, she was just a kid, and that was her normal. So of course, it was hard for her to realize that not all kids have the same. In fact, let me tell you a fun story. The first time she invited her friend, Brittany Edney, to her tour bus, and naturally the other girl responded by asking, "What's a tour bus?" I think that was the moment where our favorite rappers, Little Offspring, realized that she was in fact not like the other girls. But that wasn't the only surreal experience she had as a kid.
You envision the area that's hurting and you say 5515 in your head, and supposedly you won't feel the pain anymore.
Hailie was genuinely her dad's little princess growing up. Eminem may have had a very complex relationship with the mother of his child. We all know Kim Scott never really managed to be the girl of his dreams, but they did try, not once, but twice.
Almost died from an overdose in 2007, which kind of sucked because, Hailie, plug your ears, because drugs were delicious.
from 1999 to 2001, and then again to 2006. Suffice to say, the majority of the blame fell on him. Eminem in his 20s was no easy man to be with. He was a drug addict and couldn't function without his dose. His words, not mine. Before y'all come at me, he was also genuinely very aggressive, and his song lyrics make all these things very clear. But even though the big weenie rapper may have been a terrible husband, he actually managed to be an excellent father. That is, to the best of his capacity. He attended all her school events and played the traditional role of a father, but he also showed his love in not-so-traditional ways, like taking her backstage in so many of his concerts. And then this one's my favorite, because it's literally every child's dream. He even got her VIP tickets to Disney World. And if that wasn't enough, they went there in a limo, and got the chance to dress as Disney princesses. Come on, guys, we'd kill for a dad half as cool as that. Oh, and before I forget, let me just point out that Jade literally has her name imprinted on the pages of the Guinness Book of World Records for the youngest singer to have an R&B hit. All these things may be unusual for other children, but they were the norm for her. And the strangest part is, she never knew. This leaves us to wonder, why did it take Hailie so long to realize her childhood wasn't so normal? It doesn't take a genius to figure this one out. But if, throughout your childhood, you ate cereal for breakfast for the first few years of your life, it's natural for you to assume that everyone does the same. That's just how little kids work. But as Hailie grew up, she realized not everyone has cereal for breakfast, in the same way that not everyone has a superstar father with millions of fans. She admitted that, in retrospect, all of it seems really intense, but back then it was nothing special. Just imagine, guys, so many people would kill for a backstage pass to Slim Shady's concert, and this girl just won the lottery by being born in the right place. But hey, that's not really her fault. She did express regret that she never fully let herself value the importance of those moments, because she didn't realize how important they were. But that's okay, because Miss Hailie seems to be making some special moments of her own. That's right, folks. From what we've heard, Hailie Jade is ready to settle down. They grow up so fast. Eminem must feel really emotional about this. Imagine your little girl growing up into a beautiful woman who's ready to settle down. That's a heavy moment for any father. And from what we've heard, Hailie's ready to build her own family. Rumors suggest that Hailie has a very, very serious relationship with her college boyfriend, Evan McClintock. And we've seen pictures of the duo. The two look really cute together, except he seems like a shy sort of guy. Even his Insta is private. And that's definitely a clash with his model influencer wife-to-be. We wonder how the two of them are gonna balance the dynamic. But perhaps he's the yin to her yang. Whatever the case may be, we wish her all the best in life. And on that note, it's a wrap. See you guys.